I get up at 4 a.m. I hit the road at about 10 to 5. I'm here at about 5:30 in the morning. My name is Randy LaRock. I am the food service manager for the Bloom Group. I am a certified chef and a certified nutrition manager. I've been with the Bloom Group for almost 4 years. Man, time flies. I spent most of my life, probably 40 years of my life in kitchens. Probably 32 or so of them in management. I've done everything from fine dining, camp cooks to long-term care. I spent probably the last 10 years or so in long-term care facilities. I tried to get out of food service at one point and went into sales. I was working for a company, a local company that sells meat products. And 40% of my clientele were long-term care facilities. And I saw the kind of stuff that they were ordering to feed their residents, and to be honest, I was pretty disgusted by it, that somebody who's worked and paid taxes and helped develop our country over the last however many decades is being fed crap. So that's when I decided I wanted to get out of that and get into seniors care. It is 6:27. Scheduling seems to be the biggest challenge, is trying to find shifts. I don't have enough staff. I've got I've got 5 shifts I still got to fill for this month. And I've got a week to find them. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Good morning. Grabbing the timesheets. Today is payroll day. Invoices. Parts on this thing are hard to find because it's a bit of an older machine, but it's a Burkle, so it's a good machine. So I made sure they kept everything clean. Temperature charts filled out. Cook shows up at 7:30. Food service worker shows up at 8. Breakfast starts at 8:30. Just finishing up the payroll. I gotta send a couple of timesheets to HR because they're not in Payworks or the scheduler yet. I think everybody's facing the same challenge with trying to get staffing. This has probably been one of the worst times I've seen in years, since probably 2006. I don't know where all these people went to pre-COVID, but it's happening in every industry right now. Because so every year I get a budget, I try to submit projections of what it is. On average, it's anywhere from 2.5% to 3% of inflation every year. So in order to stay current, we kind of need that. Last year we didn't get an increase in the budget, and we didn't get one this year, and that becomes a challenge. So a lot of the times I'm doing some code surfing, so trying to find items that are comparable, apples to apples, that are roughly around the same price point. And I've never missed a budget in my entire life. But this year, I'm already having a challenge. We're 3 months into our yearly budget because we can't just change the menu based on, I find a good deal on something, I can't just bring it in. And here at Victory House, we're a licensed facility. I create the menu, and then we have a dietitian that goes through it and makes sure that everything is nutritionally sound. We have to follow the menu. According to licensing, I only have a 5% that I can change on the menu. But essentially it comes down to choice. I mean, we encourage choice here. So if somebody is on, let's say, a weight reduction diet, but they want to have ice cream for dessert, have at it, it's your choice. We get 2 orders a week from Cisco and 1 order a week from Centennial Food Service, which is our meat supplier, and then we also get 1 order a week for our bread. I've been doing this long enough that I know usually when beef prices are going to go up, because by the end of March, all of the retail outlets have pre-booked all of their beef. So all the restaurants, care homes, butcher shops, and all that are fighting for the last remaining scraps. So usually by end of March, I like to try and already have an idea of a buying plan. Like chicken prices are usually goes up 1 to 2 times a year, depending. But I mean, it's already gone up twice so far this year, and we're only halfway through the year. Folks are showing up now. Good morning, Mama Kay.
Good morning.
Not too bad. How was your weekend?
I can eat.
Yeah, no, I wish. Right? What's on your lunch today?
Meatballs.
Yes. Love me some meatballs.
I said, oh, Randy did a really good job.
Well, no, she's got all the information on hers, right? I just don't have that. So we're finally able to get cereals again. Look, fantastic.
I love steak.
I know, I need to lose some.
10 pounds.
Good for you.
Because
Get
if
mustard
they
gas.
run out, just blitz.
Yeah.
It's better too. Yeah.
So the best way to do it for that one is
Yeah.
to go like this,
Yeah.
fall up like that instead of like this.
Yeah.
Lost milk here. Unfortunately, we have to use powdered milk because the amount of milk that we go through would probably eat up half my budget. It is now 7:41, and I got to start my invoicing. So when I come in on a credit memo, that's always nice. When I come in, we have to do an order for Monday for Tuesday, and I also placed my bread order today for next Saturday. So now is the time where I get a lot of my invoicing stuff done. So these pork coins right here are a great deal. I'm going to grab these. The honey hams for $7.98 a kilo is good. I'm going to buy those. Strawberries, whole strawberries, $34 a case. That's a good deal. I'm going to buy those. When an opportunity comes like that, you buy it now, so I'd rather have it in my freezer than theirs. But I'm also saving myself probably a few $100s just in that. Unfortunately, we don't have the budget to buy lamb shanks, because that would be awesome. If I'm ever able to save any money one month, I will try to use it up next month to try and get them something nice. I'll probably spend an extra $6, $8, $12 more, but I'm going to bring in 3 really, really nice desserts for them. And then when my meat guy comes in on Wednesday, I'll try and hammer him, and I'll get that $12 back.
This one, right?
Just recently. Woohoo! It's 8:15. So, with this unit being a licensed facility, we have audits that I have to do every month, which means I get to eat the food. When it gets to this time of year, we like to do we implement what's called a hydration protocol. So we try to make sure that we have extra things for them to drink. Some people drink water, but you get some people that won't drink water because there's no flavor to it. Oranges and lemons and limes and stuff like that, cut them up, put them in the water, throw in some frozen raspberries or something like that. Try and make it look pretty from some of the other units who come by here to eat, so they buy meal tickets. $2. Yeah. Which basically just covers the cost of the food. We're actually trying to put together a program where we can create meals here to freeze, to supply to Santiago and Cecilia House. The challenge is I've got, the meals or the menus and all that program ready to go. I found all the proper food sealing equipment that I would need to run such a program, but I'm missing one key element, that's staff. So once I'm hoping that in the next little while I'll have enough casuals in the pool to be able to do something. Make sure it hasn't been overcooked so there's no gray around the yolk. Oatmeal should be thick, but not so thick that it stops a bullet. Should be a little bit runny, easier to swallow. Everything is good. I'm always tasting food from both sides. Make sure everything's good. And the biggest one that, to find out is talk to the residents. The residents will tell you if it's good or not. Going into my order guide to take a look at what stuff has increased. Reach out to companies like Sofina Foods. Sofina Foods, they've donated so many turkeys and all that stuff for us. Last year they weren't able to, but they donated some money to us so that we could go and buy some stuff. But almost every year they've donated, 30, 40 cases of turkeys and all that kind of stuff. So we've been able to feed the entire organization Christmas dinners and Thanksgiving dinners thanks to the generous donations of companies like Sofina Foods. Cobb's Bread was donating some bread here for a while. Cobb's Bread's phenomenal bread. But with some of our residents, with the aging population, all that kind of stuff, with seeds and the bread being a little bit tougher crust, they were having a hard time chewing it. So when we come down to supply issues, so cake mixes, suspended. My peanut butter, suspended. And so now I've got to try and find a peanut butter that's comparable. So there we go, 10 kilo, because we go through a lot of peanut butter here. It is 9:30. I am going to start my ordering for the day. So I'm starting with Cordova House. For doing a roast beef dinner, I'll use an outside flat. Okay. So I'm looking at the price of fresh versus frozen. All right. People say, well, I could save money on a frozen. But on a frozen, once you thaw it out, you're going to get purge. So it's moisture. Moisture is also weight. So you got to figure out, okay, I'm probably going to lose about 15% of moisture when I thaw that out. So take that 15%, add it to the price. Am I actually saving, right? Or if I'm going to have one that has a fatter fat cap, okay, well, you lose 30% off an outside flat when you cook it anyway. So if I've got to trim a few extra pounds of fat off of it, that fat I'm still paying for. It's a combination of labor versus yield versus quality.
That's what we do. You want some?
No, I'm good, thanks. 9819. Lettuce, romaine, chopped, fresh.
No meatballs? No meatballs? No. You don't like meatballs? You know what I like? Meatballs?
Ooh, it's Mama Kate's world famous everything soup. Very good. Can't go wrong with meatballs. It is 12:30. Last year we had baby back ribs. Let's see what I can do for baby back ribs this year. $8.12 a kilo, Canadian back ribs.